Make yourself useful and chop up some firewood. There's a few coins in it for you. Hard to say. It's ancient. That much we know for sure. It was here long before the town itself. I just hope the bridge survives the war. It's the only place you can cross the Karth River for a long way in either direction. Could be if one side wants to keep the other from coming across. They might try to knock it down. Damn right it has. Demand's never been so high. At least not since I built the new mill. All right then.
We must be lost. The tavern is down the road at least.
Tell me, traveler, do you have any regrets? Of course you do. We all do. They say regrets are the foundation of wisdom, for if we do not regret our mistakes, we are damned to repeat them. Our successes, meanwhile, need not to be remembered, for they only serve to bolster our temerity. That is why a general is hunted not by his victories in the battlefield, but those that slip from his grasp. That is the way we are meant to live, always stumbling forward, looking back only to see how far we've come. For some things, such a task is simple. A hastily written report, a tactless reply, a spilled drink. For others, the tendrils run deeper, rooting your body in the earth. There is no way forward. Not until you free yourself of the memory, not until you make things right. The thief, the one that got away, an imperial woman based on the reports, the lone operative. She's burglarized homes of a number of notable lords, thanes, and nobles. At times, she's even ransomed their children. She's outfoxed the city guards, evaded the Oculus, and even managed to wrangle prominent members of the Thieves Guild. Unfortunately, the resources of the Empire exhausted and tracking her down, forcing the over council to suspend all pursuit. Given the state of the Imperial coffers, it was cheaper to let her run free and compensate them grief for their losses. Only I remain dedicated to the cause of justice, and while lacking many resources, I make up for it. I've chased her across Tamriel for the last 15 years, and I believe I'm closer than ever to catching her. I'm not sure anyone would even bother. Too busy chopping off the heads of elderly Talos worshippers to care about Tamriel's most celebrated thief. If I hadn't retired, I would still have me raid the chest of every Nord who wore a beard that resembled Tiber Septim's. There have been several witnesses' accounts of a raven-haired thief posing as a bard. As you know, most who reside here are light of hair and tall in stature, which already narrows down the list of possible culprits. And while there are bards in Skyrim from here to Riften, there is only one capable of playing that song. Dusk at Anvil Harbor was its name, if I recall correctly. A beautiful but solemn tune about the sunset over the Gold Coast and the tragic death of a loved one. I do. It's been burned into the bone of my skull from sketches and wanted posters and images from another time. A raven-haired woman, 32 years of age, with an aquiline nose and eyes the color of steel. She is as fearsome as an orc, but can be as cunning as a diplomat, and if need be, can charm you with the grace of a sylph. What are you implying? One cannot evade the Penitus Oculatus and not earn a measure of respect, and one cannot defy them without earning their wrath. I am a soldier, sworn in the service of the Penitus Oculatus, sworn to uphold the law. If someone breaks the law, it matters not whether they are the Raven of Anvil or the Emperor's own kin. They are all criminal scum. Yes, I thought it was best to give her a name that was more memorable and identifiable. All reports are at times conflicting, but the most reliable agree on one point. The girl has hair as black as a raven, so dark that it seems to devour the light around it. And like the ominous bird, she is not to be trusted, and the very sight of her is a wicked portent for those who have worked hard for their wealth. None more so than the Countess of Anvil, who in her weakness opened the doors of the Great Hall to this Eater of Carrion. The Countess's cousin had passed away, and she was now on her 12th day of mourning. She refused to eat, refused to sleep. Soon her court was deprived of the same. As her mood grew more and more contemptuous, it seemed nothing would allay her grief. Many bards and poets came from all over Tamriel to celebrate the life of her cousin, in hopes of appeasing the Countess. Yet it seemed that even time itself had given up all hope, until the day a raven-haired minstrel walked into the castle and gently strummed her lute. Those who were in attendance insisted that it was the saddest song ever heard by mortal ears. They claimed the sky rained for 7 days and 7 nights, as both the Countess and the divines exhausted all the tears. That night, the entire court slept for the first time in weeks. When they awoke, they found their cases and coffers emptied of their valuables. It is a sad story, a tale of 2 deaths and 1 birth. The girl had talent to give the world a gift of joy, but she chooses to lead a life that brings nothing but sorrow. Yes, my words have betrayed me, more than once in this conversation. It is not uncommon given my proximity to the case. Few, however, are perceptive enough to find meaning in the symbol of words. It is as you say. I know the Raven of Anvil. I know both her and the song she played on that fateful night in Anvil. After all, I sighed both of them. The Raven of Anvil is my daughter. I don't need her back. She's her own woman now, with her own life. One that's separate from the one I would choose. It's not about getting justice anymore. Perhaps it never was. I don't need her to repent, and I don't need her to change. I'm at the age where the coffers of a few nobles won't cost me any sleep. What I dread is the passage of time and one final regret. I don't care what it takes or how long I have to look. All I wanted to see her smile again. I'm sorry. Please. I need a moment to myself. But I thank you for listening.
Haven't seen your face before. I'm watching.
Come on in. We got warm food, warm drinks, and warm beds.
I would never discourage sleeping outside. Every night, Debella blesses us with a necklace of stars. But warm fires and warm beds are nice too.
What do you need?
Careful.
Food, warm drinks, and warm beds.
No need to get rough.
Hope you're willing to back those words up with your fists.
As long as you don't forget to sweep that area. The floor's looking a bit dusty.
I'll do it after I get the dishes cleaned.
You've been working hard lately. You'll make a fine innkeeper someday.
Between the dragons and the storm crooks, these are troubling times indeed. Someone there? Kill him!
That's the best you can do.
Stop! Fight
Then
him!
I'll
You're nothing!
my
Mercy!
last. Hey, be careful! Onward we march for Tabella's glory. Harps are the best.
Yes? Need something? Where do you want to go? Going straight through, or did you want to stop somewhere along the way? Climb and back, and we'll be off.
Котов этих знаешь? Они себя зовут Каджиты. Слыхал я, что на юге есть целые страны из одних этих котов.
Need something?
Greetings. Bards are quite territorial, and there are many in Markarth who already call the Silver Blood Inn their home. In Old Roldan, I can ply my trade without having to contend for the floor. There's also the advantage of novelty. Just as a meal is most delicious when one's hunger is at its peak, the emotion of a song is best felt by those with virgin ears. Although I must confess, I do like the atmosphere of a traditional Nord inn. I love warm beds and homely smells, and also jewels, although I suppose one of those three has nothing to do with Old Roldan. I hail from Cyrodiil, but I've plied my trade in Hammerfell and High Rock, and have tales to tell from each. I am but a humble bard, and know nothing of either. Yet as a bard I can craft you a tale. This story begins in a Dwemer city, ruled not by kings, chieftains, or jarls, but by the people, so that no mortal may rule over another. However, where there is no throne, a mine owner seeks to build one, smelted from ore wrought by slaves. Slaves to debt, and slaves to a mistake, as there is no abolition for criminals and the poor. The mine owner sits on his gilded throne, mouth stuffed with pheasants and chin dripping with wine, when news comes by courier of death and tragedy. His wife was killed in a horrible accident. She had slipped off a ledge and crushed her head on the stone below. The funeral lasted all through the night, and the coffin laid to rest. Then the bard stood by the mine owner and sung her solemn dirge. Men wiped their eyes and women fell in their arms. The mine owner, however, remained silent, with but a single red smile on his neck. You asked for a tale about thieves, Sirrah, not assassins. The mine owner, like most wealthy men, fancied wearing amulets and jewels. The thin red line was an imprint from an amulet, one set with a valuable jewel, so valuable that the mine owner only saw fit to remove it from his safe on 2 occasions. The day he wed his wife, and the day death made them part.
Not at the Bard's College, if that's what you're implying. I'm very much a bard, however, or I wouldn't advertise my services as such. If my skill were lacking, you would discover that soon enough. A sword maiden, for instance, could not profess her skill in battle and then show up to the arena with her armor on backwards. Nor can I claim to be a bard if my loot collects more dust than coin. Even here in Old Roldan, there's always someone with a story. A lost loved one, a new job, a family reunion, a long goodbye. And whether it's good, bad, or sad, a story always needs a tune. They say there are many roads to wisdom, but not all of them are interesting.
As you wish. What would you like me to play? An unusual request, to say the least. Are you by chance from the Gold Coast? Although it is not a well-known tune even there. However, you're in luck. As I hail from Cyrodiil, I am well versed in songs of all varieties, and songs of melancholy are my specialty.
Waves touch the coast, harbored in twilight's blue. From dawn came the sunlight, and with dusk it fades from our view. Calm embraces the sky, while storms rage in our hearts. For honor, glory, and love, from Anvil we do
How can I help you? It's the very same. From whom, may I ask, did you hear the tale? A member of the Emperor's personal guard? Oh my. You do have an eclectic circle of friends. I hope that I may someday count myself among them. This humble bard will do well to include herself among them. And if I were the Raven, no doubt I would reveal myself to you and demand an apology. But alas, I am not her, and take no offense to insults thrown at a stranger. Of course, that must be it. Dungeons are so lovely this time of year, and torture is forever sublime. It began as a song of goodbyes, and so it ended. The first was written by a wife, whose soldier husband left for war. The second goodbye was that of a widowed husband, one who chose his rulers over the gods. The third belongs to their daughter, who mourns the life of her mother and the death of her innocence. She may. A bard hears many rumors on the road, some of which are quite valuable to those who work in the shadows. To the left of the entrance to Markarth, you will find a storeroom with a workbench and a man, a guard by the name of Lundvar. Blood stains his eyes, and mead frosts his breath. He is short for a Nord, yet nothing short of an honorable one. What he does not know is he has been betrayed. When you tell him this, his lips will be as loose as his throat is wet. He knows the location of a ledger, one that names the greatest bards in all of Skyrim. I would pay good coin to have my name atop it. That is a heavy accusation, Sirrah. Rumors are but ghosts, and it's best we don't pay them any heed. But I'll allow it this one time, if you do as I ask. Take this letter to the guardsman. When you have gained his trust, you will ask him a favor. To write my name on a ledger of famous bards. Nothing more. As for your payment, I will give you half of it now. When my name is on that list, you'll receive the rest.
Make it quick.
Pardon me, stranger. Will you help me raise a flagon for my dear departed brother? May he find peace in Sovngarde. No need to be sorry, lass. These are happy times, and he's in a better place, drinking far better mead than we could ever imagine. Bravely, as only he could, a group of forsworn stragglers, covered by darkness, made a daring attack at the front gate. My brother caught sight of them immediately, and ran up the steps to fire the mechanical bow. Only some foolish sod must have forgot to grease it or something, because the lever was jammed. Worse yet, the guard manning the tower was fast asleep, and didn't sound the horn. My brother would have to defend the city gates by himself. He may have died, but I'm proud to say he took 3 of those savages and a Briarheart with him. He put the fear of Talos in the rest of those stragglers. Let them know that every Reachman was worth a dozen of those forsworn bastards. The rest of the wild folk fled into the night. Who knows what would have happened had they breached the gate? Aye, it was a bit peculiar given how sneaky they usually are. But Uthmer assured me it all happened as they said. He was on duty that night as well. Ungver told him to run into the city and wake the guard when the horn didn't sound. By the time he returned, the forsworn raiders had left, and my brother had fallen. The guard manning the tower? Arrow to the throat. Who knows how many more would have died that day if Ungver wasn't there to save them? My brother died a hero, a savior of the Reach. Anyone who says otherwise, feel free to raise your hand and punch yourself in the face. I trust him with my life, and vouch for his words with my own. Uthmar was more than a watch brother to me and Ungver. He was our best friend. We even made him an honorary member of the family. Thick as thieves, the 3 of us, ever since childhood. I'd sooner believe Thongbor craps silver before I'd believe Uthmar is a liar. That's a good question. The captain of the guard was in here just a moment ago, asking the same thing. To be honest, I've spent so much time alone, I never noticed he was missing. Maybe he took a leave of absence. Hold Roldan? Shore's beard, why would he be there? That place is miles from anything. This is from Uthmar? He says my brother was betrayed by the city guard. This can't be. A Nord would never betray his own watch brother. You know nothing, foreigner. A Nord will die as a beggar, eating a pile of his own waste before he soils himself with blood money. And yet, for some reason, when I read this letter, my gut tells me its words ring true. What has the world come to when a man can't even trust a fellow Nord? But if there's corruption in our city, we need to root it out. I owe it to my brother to do so. I don't know why you brought me this letter, but I thank you. I hope Wuthmar finds peace wherever he is. Sure, but if you think I will sully myself to get revenge, I'm sorry, but I won't. The ones who killed my brother will rot in cinder mine until the end of days, but it will be the Jarl who gives the sentence. I swore an oath to protect the city and the law, and I will die 1,000 deaths before I break it. Somewhere in Sovngarde, my brother is nodding his head, because if it were me who died, he would say the same. Then she doesn't know my brother. He didn't want a fancy funeral in front of people who would use his death for politics. Besides, if she's so good, why not ask Ingvar the singer to update the list? He's the one who keeps it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to think about what I'm going to say to the captain.
I said all you backfire.
Blood and silver, friend. Blood and silver.
I see. That was poor judgment on your part. If the singer notices the list went missing, all my plans would be for naught. By Zenithar, you're right. This oaf isn't an oaf at all. He writes like a pompous lord. You did the right thing to bring this back here. No way someone with his tongue this far down his own crotch wouldn't notice a change in flavor. Save it. You know who I am, and I know who you are. The point is, no one can prove either of us is a thief. So stop acting like you just got knighted. This has to be back in Yengar's pocket before the next time he uses it to wipe the Jarl's ass. Where am I going to find a forger that isn't loyal to the Silverbloods? There was an elf here the other day, wearing fake college robes. He said he had a relative near Windhelm. See if you can find him. It's as I told you. He's a murderer. There really isn't much more I care to say. Everything I told you was true. I never would have lasted this long if it wasn't. Think of it this way. You can dress a beggar in fine furs and drape amulets around his neck. But as soon as the stupid fetcher opens his mouth, he'd be completely undressed. That's what a lie is. Layers upon layers that can all fall apart with a single truth. So I don't lie. I tell it to you straight. Only I dress my words in the bard's tongue. So that you, Sarah, will find the kindness to grant favor to my cause, even if you know not what I seek. All right, then.
воска.
Where do you want to go? Going straight through, or did you want to stop somewhere along the way? Climb and back, and we'll be off.
The reach is home to rocky vistas, rolling hills, and cascading waterfalls. Keep your eyes open,
Я не
traveler.
про
You shan't
погоду.
miss a thing.
Ты же не из Винхельма родом, нет?
Valuables, or I'll gut you like a fish. Well, I can see you're not one to be trifled with. Let this be a warning to you.
Wow, that was a frightening experience. The Nords should really consider burning their dead. Although granted it would make opening urns a lot more harrowing. Alright then. Yes? Well, I was going to go for something more subtle, like a wyvern mounting a cliff racer, but I thought that people might misinterpret the analogy. And besides, there wasn't enough room on my groin to begin with, so I decided to paint my face instead. A dash under the eyes helps with the glare. So does a hood. Well, in some parts of Tamriel, war paint is seen as a tribal mark for warriors. In others, it can be a family crest, an artistic splash, or just too much makeup. Of course, excessive makeup is traditionally a sign you will service wealthy nobles for gold. And before you ask, my price is 100 septims and no kissing on the mouth. Okay, maybe once or twice, but no tongue. Hey, I didn't study war paint application for 10 years at the Lathander School in Chaindal to be mocked by an amateur. Good day. At least that's what I'd say if I didn't think whiskers were a compliment. Which they are. Oh, I'm serious about a lot of things. In fact, I'm absolutely dedicated to not taking life seriously. I do. They're tall, punctual, and have good posture. Oh, I know, but I learned that discussing politics and religion is an exercise in futility. I'll just evade the question, thank you, and focus on more agreeable questions, like the weather, the temperature, and the local food. Just try and disagree with me on the weather. See? You can't. Not quite. These are actually a cheap imitation, woven and enchanted to look like their more esteemed counterpart. The point is to convince naive patrons the enchantments were performed by a master. They are not. Well, consider the fact that bandits are twice as naive as the average customer looks. Thus, one ruse leads to another. Not that these robes are only good for conjuring a story. The enchantment is far from spectacular, but on occasion it does help me conserve magicka. That makes it sound so sinister, like some place you buy fur coats made from Khajiit pelts. Nothing was hurt in the sewing of this robe. Well, maybe the college's reputation. Well, I know a guy, a real master of mimicry. Robes from Winterhold, fake scimitars from Hammerfell. There is nothing this craftsman can't replicate. Well, except for personality. Him? Oh no, he's a bit dark when it comes to writing. Besides, he's too busy making curved swords. But I do know an Argonian who does excellent forgeries. I once asked him to make a Jarl's decree that pies were a type of vegetable. Problem is, I heard he ran into a bit of trouble stitching together guard uniforms for a group of bandits. Well, apparently they weren't good enough to trick some mad dark elf who hunts lawbreakers. So the bandits decided to take it out on my poor friend. Chances are he isn't alive, or in one piece, but we could try and rescue what's left of him. Oh, don't say his name out loud. If you say it 3 times, he'll visit you in your nightmares and stick a dagger up your nose or something. Good idea, although he really is only good at forgery. I mean, we could ask him to tell us bad jokes, but then I'd be out of a job. More than an idea, I know the exact location of their hideout. I was pretending to be his bodyguard when he made the deal. Knife Point Ridge was the name, over in Fall Creek. If he's alive, we'll find him there.
straight through, or did you want to stop somewhere along the way? Climb and back, and we'll be off.
Котов этих знаешь? Они себя зовут Каджиты. Слыхал я, что на юге есть целые страны из одних этих котов.
yours!
Bandits everywhere, awaken from your slumber. Be not a vandal of nature, but a witness, a crier. Show the people nature's beauty and yours.
Look, I didn't tell them anything. I'm just a passive peddler. They don't even know why they're keeping me alive.
Oh, come on, sunken roots. You break the moment they threaten to pluck a feather.
Rumarin, what are you doing here?
What does it look like, saving your scaly tail?
And for this I should be grateful? You're half the reason I'm in here. Or have you forgotten the fake decree I made for you?
Oh, right. I still haven't paid you for that, have I?
That's right. And if you paid on time, I wouldn't have to take jobs like this.
Fine. If you're going to be such a sod about it, we'll just let you rot in there.
No, please. Take me with you. Your companion is rotten, but you are a sensible, decent person. Please, you must help me. Thank you, hero. Sunken Roots is but your humble servant. I will do whatever you ask, but if I may make a suggestion, my main talent is forgery. The bandits were using me to do just that, to get a bounty on a lawman that was thinning their numbers. I just need to fetch my things. They would blindfold me, but the cabin they took me to was nearby. I'm sure of it. Yes, I can do that. It will be as if this person penned it with his own hand. In fact, If he's not a member of the court, I don't even need a seal. Just lead the way. Are still inside. Nobody ever checks the secret compartment. You're as insufferable as ever, Lumayan. In any event, I will forge this document as promised. Looking at this list, we want to mirror this bard's irreverence. So, we don't want to boast about Asteria's voice too much. No offense. But what if she isn't very good? I think, and this is just my opinion, but we ought to maybe appeal to other things, like cost and availability.
You did say she plays primarily an old Roland, right? And this journal is from a bard in Markar. Sounds like a cheap neighborly bard to me.
Alright, there we have it. A perfect forgery. Now, if you two are on your way to Markarth, I'll be headed in the other direction. Kyne's Grove sounds like the perfect watering hole for me. I don't want to get caught up in whatever it is you're planning. In fact, not to sound ungrateful because you saved my life, but it's probably better if we pretend we never met, us being accomplices and all.
Sure, that works for me.
I was talking about your friend. You still... Alright, you win. I was a fool to think you would ever pay anyway.
Well, that should tie everything up in a neat little bow. You got your forgery, I got my debt erased, and Sunken Roots got his life back. It's your classical happy ending. Unless you're a bandit, then it went about as badly as one could expect.
Where do you want to go? Going straight through, or did you want to stop somewhere along the way? Climb and back, and we'll be off.
Если путешествуешь по пределу, остерегайся изгоев. Ух и кровожадные ублюдки.
work for Ildis. She runs the inn.
Ah, a visitor. Old Golden Inn. Hundreds of years of history for him.
Alright, I did some scouting, and it seems there's a bit of an upheaval with the guard. The Jarl doesn't seem to trust all of them. Or any of them, for that matter. He's hired a bunch of sellswords to guard his chamber. It also doesn't help that before he left, my bastard father sent letters to all the stewards, warning them about a possible theft. I don't know. Either way, there's more security around the Fetcher's safe than I anticipated. What about your end? I trust you were able to handle things? Good. We better head on over to Markarth then. If we're lucky, we'll catch him on the way.
If you drink too much, you're out. No drunks.
I've been looking for you. Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only. Let's see here. Yeah, got this note. You've got friends in high places. Looks like that's it. Got to go.
This is it. A summons from the Jarl. It says I've been granted the privilege of playing before him. This is it. A summons from the Jarl. It says I've been granted the privilege of playing before him. This snowback has the nerve to call me privileged? I can just picture the milk dribbling from his chin. Yeah, but it's his fault for staying that way. In any case, meet me at the Silverblood Inn. We need to discuss our plans. I'm sure you're eager to find out exactly what we'll be stealing from this privileged little fetcher.
Your deed was true, and so is my gratitude. Please take this in return for your efforts.
Rosengard? Oh, a beautiful place, I'm sure.
Come on in. The Silverblood Inn has plenty of strong drinks and Forsworn rampaging through the streets, as if business wasn't slow enough. Sure thing. It's yours for a day. I'll show you to your room. Right this way. Let me know if there's anything else you need.
Your chores coming, son.
I've been cleaning up spills and various fresh linen for the rooms.
Aren't you wonderful? Why can't your father be more like you? Your sister.
Are you going to go to your father and start eating again?
No, not right now. Maybe later, if I'm still upset.
Well, I guess you're wondering what this is all about. First, the prize. There's a safe filled with jewels in the Jarl's bedchamber. That's all yours. Consider it the second half of my payment. But what I need is the document that's underneath. I'll provide the distraction. The court will be easy enough. Just a bunch of haughty nobles with ice spikes so far up their ass they piss snow. The mercs, though, they might not leave until the finale. But given the fame of the Raven of Anvil, when I play Dusk on Anvil Harbor, they'll all come. They always do. All you need to do is pick the lock before I finish my set. Take too long and you'll have to fight your way out. Now, the most important thing. Don't be late. You should arrive at 3 o'clock, but no later than 5. I'll time my performance to your arrival. It's not worth a bloody septum to anyone but me. So you'd be a horker's ass if you kept it for yourself. What do you want, a map? Look, it's not exactly the Dwemer Museum. You'll have enough time to find it. Here, I've made myself mostly invisible. In the keep, the two of us will stand out like a wart on a countess's nose. That's why I'm getting an early start tomorrow. You shouldn't arrive until I get to the end of my set. That's when I'll draw the mercs. As many as it takes. When I see you enter the keep, I'll play Mogo's Mead. That'll be the signal that the next song is Dusk on Anvil Harbor. I always set up the sad tunes by playing that one first. It gets everybody up before I send them crashing down. Do you mean did it rain 7 days and 7 nights after I played? Gods no. The rest of it went pretty much as they say. When the Countess was appeased, the court fell asleep in their exhaustion. Who could blame them? The poor woman had kept them up for nearly a fortnight. As to why she favored my song, I don't know. There were bards with better voices, and bards who could play far more deftly than I. But I guess the Countess wasn't interested in any of that. All she wanted was a bard who understood her grief. Now that's enough talk. We'll meet back at Old Hroldan when it's all done. Get some rest. Tomorrow's a big day.
He'll be a fine innkeeper someday.
Who says you're a terrible innkeeper?
Never mind your mother, Ren.
want a drink?
What is it? Is there something in my teeth? Oh gods, I sure hope not. Alright, but if you see something remarkable, don't be afraid to shout.
There's no shipments coming in, so I do nothing.
Blood and silver, friend. Blood and silver.
Damn these sworn. They can kill people in my city. I'm not proud of my friends. Stupid dog. What about them? They seem worried enough.
Oil! Longbow supports Ulfric and his storm clothes. We should imprison the entire families in the puzzle.
I second that. Who knows what that family is? They could be working with the Forsworn long enough.
And imprison the very people that all the jail has been throwing him into. The Silver Blood family are to be left alone. Am I clear?
Yes,
my darling.
Raven, how is the Reach faring against this Forsworn mates?
Things are bad.
This is why I say we take the fight to them. Gather the Legion and drive those blasted beasts out of the Reach.
The Legion soldiers know about the hills in the Reach and the caves that make up those hills.
So Madanak was behind those murders. Gods help us.
The safety of the city and our settlements must be our focus. The rest of
You'd best show us the proper right hygiene. If that's even possible. What's allowed us to hide you back and wait while you do then take all these lands. We got this. All this standing around is rubbish. Should be taken to fight with small groups.
The Thalmor know how to deal with Talos worshippers.
Once was a hero named Ragnar, came riding to Whiterun from Rorikstead. And the braggart did swagger and brandish his blade as he told of all battles and gold he had made. Then he went
If you see any signs of Talos worship, it's your obligation to report.
Between the dragons and the Stormcloaks, these are troubling times indeed. Excellent. Just like in the tales of old.
Your words do me honor, my Jarl. I will do my best not to betray them. For my next...
Damn Stormcloak rebels. Every one of them.
Mogo's Mead. A song the commoners love, but even a Jarl can appreciate.
Oh, very much so. Now that's some fine honey.
I knew myself a maiden fair with emerald eyes and fly red hair. She owned a tavern by the sea and served warm drinks of mellow honey. Drink ye merry, drink ye thirsty, bring the crew and revel freely. On one thing we're all agreed, that Mogo made the finest mead. Mogo's mead, the only drink we'd ever need. Take a flask and take a seat, and drink thyself a sweetie treat.
I thank you for your applause. Please, I am not deserving of such praise. Alas, it is with great regret that I inform you that my next song will be my last. Nobles, thanes, housecarls, and of course, my Jarl, to be allowed to play here today has been an honor that mere words cannot express. I hope that this final song will properly convey my gratitude, for they say music is a language that transcends borders, politics, and station. Thus, I bring you this dirge from my birth home in Cyrodiil, a city near the Gold Coast by the name of Anvil. And just as the first anvils were made of stone, so is the city of Markarth. Thus, our cities are bound together in hardship, sadness, and strife. And so, I present to you Dusk on Anvil Harbor.
The Tholmor know how to deal with talents.
Silverblood Inn has plenty of strong drink and clean rooms.
Onward we march for Debella's glory. Yes, let's go. Beauty waits for no one.
You'll be looking to rent Tiber Septim's room, I take it? Yeah, she was here, but she left. If you leave now, you can probably catch her. See ya.
If you drink too much, you're out. No drugs.
I'll be taking that, thank you very much. Didn't think I'd leave without getting that back, did you? You did good. I'll give you that much. Real professional. But this was a one-time thing. When you work with me, it always is. And it was a pleasure doing business with you, Sirrah. For a bard often recites the tales, but rarely does she get to live them. Now then, if we're all settled, I'll be seeing